Check, check, check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic. Is it what?
Yeah, July 15th.
Oh, yeah, we were checking on something. Episode 154, 154.
They say 154 in Spanish.
Are you going to tell me the answer?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was asking.
Nah, I don't know, man. 154. Uno, cinco, cuatro. All I know is episode 154. This is the Thing podcast. I'm Nick. That's Justin. How you living?
Chilling, brother. How you living?
You good, man?
Yeah. I've been drinking this water out the Gatorade bottle. You feel me?
What's your water intake looking like?
Yeah, I got it up. I got it up there. You feel me? So I'm trying to do like a gallon a day.
I know they say a gallon
Keep the
a day.
doctor away, you know.
Facts. I know they say and it keeps your colon clear and your kidneys clear and stuff like that.
I heard it keeps your kidneys clear.
Yeah. I think it just keeps everything in your body clear.
Yeah.
Your skin clear.
Yeah, right.
You may know more about this than me, but obviously a gallon is like the goal. Mm-hmm. It's hard to drink a gallon a day. Mm-hmm. I heard 3 liters a day is like a sweet spot.
I haven't heard. I assume so.
Which 3 liters sounds doable.
I was gonna say 3 liters sounds like it's enough, but it's also not like a gallon be like unbearable. Especially I don't know. Do you ever just drink it straight from like a water jug?
Yeah, man.
Like a gallon bottle, bro. When you get to like the bottom, you be like, oh, this is a little bit, and then you drink it for like a minute and a half.
You're like you feel water sick.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You feel heavy.
I wanted to get one of those big gallon jugs that says 8 a.m., 10 a.m.
Yeah, I wanted to get one of them too, but then I saw they was selling them for like $30. I was like,
yeah. I feel like the first person that bought it was like $5, and then you start seeing more and more people with it, and it's like, you know what? I'm cool on that.
It really just shows because I remember people used to just get like a $1 water jug and then like write it on there,
right,
or like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., like whatever. But it just shows that you can literally market and sell anything. And
it also shows I'm not drinking enough water. I do about 2 on average. I do about 2 liters a day.
You always have your bottle with you.
Yeah, I like two. That's a liter.
Yeah.
So I drink about 2 of those.
Fair.
It's hard for me to drink. I'm not saying I can't. Like I want to, and I've done it before. Like drink a gallon a day. But it is like a little unbearable to drink a gallon a day. I told you about the I don't want to call it the Michael B. Jordan challenge, but it was the Creed challenge, right?
What was it?
It was a writer with, I believe it was GQ, Sports GQ, and he went to go train with Ryan Calais. He's an actor / trainer to like, I guess I heard of him when he trained Michael B. Jordan for Creed. And I'm guessing he could train Michael B. Jordan for this upcoming Creed that's about to come out. Mm-hmm. But the last Creed that came out, when they were doing a promo run, the writer trained with Ryan Calais, and he had to drink as part of it was like a month-long challenge. 31 straight days working out. And you see do you follow him on Instagram? Mm-hmm. You see how intense he works out. And it's nothing like impossible. He doesn't do anything crazy. It's just the intensity of it, right? No, that's the myth about working out. You don't have to do anything crazy. It's just you have to up your intensity when you work out. Some people just like they'll do like one set and then they take like a 30-minute break. Mm-hmm. No, you got to up the intensity of the workout. So it's like an intense workout, and he had to drink 2 gallons a day. Jeez. Hey, look, my man got the results, but he was trying to, and I think they prefaced this in the video, he was trying to cram a year worth of training into 30 days. Yeah. So realistically,
you just stretched that out.
Right. I don't think Michael B. Jordan drank 2 gallons a day. He may have. I mean, he could have. But like, I think they were just trying to prove a point. Like, this is how hard he trained within a year. But also too, like, you're cramming a year into 31 days. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's almost not healthy.
Now he looked great. He looked great after the it's not sustainable because the next 30 days
right back to where you were.
It is a level of like, you know, maintaining it to a bit, but like, you know, It's hard to think. It's hard like when these actors like Michael B. Jordan is known for Creed, right? Yeah. Like we know him for Creed. I mean, we could say everything else. I mean, we could say Killmonger. We could say Hardball, but Creed is what we know him from.
The Wire.
The Wire. Yeah. But it's hard for me to think that he can maintain that physique. Yeah. Like. For like more than a year, it's hard to maintain that physique unless you like make working out a full-time job, and you don't eat sugar. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, unless you just don't enjoy life, right? Like
you gotta eat like a bird. Yeah. You gotta eat like a bird. I told you that my ex's, her sister, and her now husband were like super into fitness. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like put me to shame, put us both in the shame. They made us look like the fattest people in the world. They made her whole family look like the fattest people in the world. He was like super ripped up. She was super in shape, and they ate like birds. And I said, y'all got to be some of the most miserable people ever in life. I'm kidding. But they were super in shape, and they had like a lot of discipline as far as what they ate. We went to a wine, a wine bar, or it was like a wine tasting event. And he didn't even drink certain wines because it was too sweet.
Hey, man, you got to live. You feel me? Like,
yeah, man.
Like, I want to get ripped up, but also, so sometimes I see some wings. You feel me? Like,
I want to tear through some wings.
Yeah.
I want to be ripped up, but I don't want to rip through some wings.
Yeah. It's crazy whenever we both be in here. We'll be like, all right, bro, like, we on our workout grind. And then we look in the pantry and there's something sweet in there, you feel me? Whether it's a honey bun or like some chips. Remember we both went to get chips one day? Right. But we didn't tell the other person. We could have made one trip.
Yeah, right. We could have coordinated this a little bit better. I think we were both kind of like ashamed. Like,
like, damn, I don't want to look like I failed. But then I opened up the thing. I was like, damn, Nick got some chips in too.
The same chips.
They were the same one. Because I just bought the big bag.
Right. I was looking at it. I was like, damn, them chips kind of look kind of good. You feel me? With the sheets.
Oh, man.
I guess I'm gonna start asking this more on the regular. As like we start doing more and more podcasts. How are you doing from 1 to 10 physically and mentally?
Physically, I am. I say like an 8. 5. Yeah, something like that. Like it's like I'll say I'm tired, but that's just from wear and tear. But in terms of lifting, my legs hurt really bad because I did legs like 2 days ago. Yeah. And a wild thing is I did 25-pound dumbbells was the most I used, but I was doing like split squats and all that.
It don't take much for split squats.
God. Like my legs are on fire today. Like I went to squat down in practice today and like almost didn't get back up. So I said 8 because although it hurts to walk, like I enjoy that pain.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know when you like lift hard one time and then like your body's sore, you be like but low key you like and you like it.
But it's like you walk around like. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. What did Jay say? What did Ho say? Pain is pleasure. Pleasure bursts pipes. Pressure bursts pipes. You look like the. Not gonna finish that line.
Yeah. So that's my physical. Mentally, I'm. I'd say like a 7.
Okay.
Kind of antsy. I got like this. Workshop that I like have put together and got speakers for and all that.
Man, you've been talking about this workshop for a minute, not like an annoying way, but like I'm anticipating the work. I'm not even going to be there.
I'm in for that because it'll be Monday. So
Monday coming up.
Monday. Wow. So I've been waiting for that to happen.
And then you going to Philly in a month, right?
To Phoenix in a month.
Phoenix. I was
so close. This is like my busy time at work, right? Like it's conference season, so I got that coming up.
Football season.
Phoenix, and then I got football. Then I go to Greenville in October.
You on the road? You on tour?
Come on, man.
And so when you go to Phoenix, is it like a weekend? So you're gonna miss a game, right?
It actually worked out good because that's the bye week. So,
word. Okay.
So yeah, I'll be going that Sunday to Wednesday. So I would be back in order for the game, but I would miss practice that entire.
Oh wow! Well, at least you still have like a weekend. It's not like you're gone like Friday.
And I've never been to Phoenix, so I'm excited to go.
I heard Phoenix is dope. I know somebody who's from Phoenix. I used to work with somebody who's from Phoenix, and she was just like, "Yeah, Phoenix is a really dope city, and people sleep on Phoenix because they think of the desert and there's nothing out there." But
what about you though? What are you physically, mentally?
I'm about an 8. I'm sore. I'm sore. I did leg day yesterday, and then I did back today. So I'm sore. Every time I do a lot of cardio. My feet get a little sore. I want to go to one of those places where they fit your feet to a shoe. So like I've been dealing with
like
this.
the insoles and stuff.
Yeah, I'm borderline flat foot.
I'm right there with you.
So like it is. If anybody out there who is flat foot, borderline flat foot, it is very taxing on your feet whenever you do a lot of cardio, a lot of running. That's just is what it is because you feel everything when you run and when you do certain things. When you're lifting, it's kind of easier, right? But like when you're doing a lot of cardio, jumping, lunging, it is taxing. So my feet are kind of feeling it. So I'm about an 8 because pain is pleasure.
Pressure bust pipes.
And mentally, I'll be honest. I'm about like a 5.5. It's been busy at work. It's been what's the word? It's just been a lot of busyness at work and a lot of stuff.
A lot to manage.
That's a great word. I don't want to say it's too much. I'm not saying that. It's just busy. I'm just busy. So it's just kind of like mentally, I'm like,
when is I always ask this, but when is like sweeps week?
So
November?
It is. When's the next one? What month are we in? We're in July. We're in August. Wow. November is the next one. So it's November, February, May, July, October, November.
So what is it, like quarterly or?
Yes.
Like what determines what sweeps week is?
I think is that quarterly? Does that sound quarterly? Yeah, it's quarterly. I don't know how they determine the months, but it's like a whole month, and it's basically they track your ratings and then at the beginning of the next month they look at the ratings and you sort of kind of play, okay, this is where we are when it comes to ratings. It's more importantly for like programming for like CBS, like for instance, or NBC. They usually roll out these new shows and stuff like that. So like they kind of see like how is local news
with the placement there of like
right shows like how is this show competing with American Idol? How like I'm making up a show like no, maybe it is not a made up show. FBI, is that a real show? Yeah, something. Let's make up the show. FBI. How does FBI compare to like American Idol? There are two different channels. And
so let me ask you this, like while we're here, if you don't mind, kind of staying here for a second. How does that, like, I imagine now for like millennials and people our age, people aren't really like watching like cable television like that. Right. So like you don't particularly watch a channel. You don't watch like NBC or ABC or CBS. Yeah. People kind of just bounce around, and whether it's through YouTube TV or like streaming platforms, watch exactly what they want to watch or like watch it like a day late. So how does that kind of like affect? Has that been adjusted, right? Like we always see people talk about like the music industry. People don't buy albums anymore; they just stream music.
There's a lot of companies that don't, a lot of TV companies that don't even track. They don't even have sweeps anymore. They don't even do it anymore. They're like, I mean, because I work with a company before where they still tracked it, but it was like every day to us is like sweeps because like we're competitive. But like there's a lot of TV stations that don't really care because it's like you said, there's streaming services. There's TV stations that market. I don't know if you clicked on like Hulu, you see like ABC markets on Hulu, like Alexa, we market on Alexa. Yeah. So like it's like different ways to get your news. You don't have to do it the traditional route. And like, look, a lot of what we use is not cable, it's streaming. So like it's hard to calculate if I'm watching the news through streaming. So
true.
So yeah, it's different ways, and people, the internet, social media is like a big way for people to get news too. Yeah. So people like people like to say I don't watch the news, which is a lie because there are news stories that go viral
all the time
on different accounts like the Shade Room, Baller Alert.
That's where you get your news from, right?
I do. We all get on. The Shade Room is very reliable at times. But yeah, that's a little bit of it. But it's just been busy at work, so. But it will get better. I'm not complaining. I'm glad to have these 2 days. Oh, this is my Sunday, so you know. Yeah. You had an interesting topic. You had a couple of interesting topics.
Yeah.
But
on table one.
Before we get to the topic, should we bring up what happened Saturday? Was it Saturday? Or should we?
Cool.
Off air.
Caught up with some friends.
I guess what I wanted to bring up is how people see things differently years later.
Yeah,
it is. That's the only thing I wanted to bring up about it. I thought that was hilarious. I didn't know if you thought that was hilarious.
that whole interaction was hilarious.
It was for the listeners and for the viewers. So like Justin and I caught up with a couple of people that we went to college with. I don't want to call them
people
friends.
we run in the same we ran in the same circle in college because there were but so many of them.
Right. So we caught up with them. It's been like 10 years since I've seen one of them.
It's literally that was like the first thing I said to them is like like it's been 10 years.
And then the other one, like it's been a couple of years because we lived in the same city. It's just funny because we were going, back down memory lane. And I just thought that it was funny that we were reliving memories, but they had selective memory.
They no recollection of
none. I'm like, how do you not like? They even forgot people.
When 3 out of 4 people are saying XYZ happened,
right?
And then you're
like what that happened? No,
I was like that.
Hey. And had to what did one tell you?
What
did one tell you about me bringing up memories?
That you was putting labels. That you was putting. What do you?
No. Closure. The closure.
Oh, that's what was said.
Boy, I was hot. I was hot as grits. I was just just bringing up conversation. I mean, here's the thing about closure. Closure is when I think a lot of times with closure is you were like you seek out closure. I wasn't seeking out anything. I haven't thought about this person in 10 years.
Just conversations.
And one of the people, full disclosure, like I dated on and off, like in
college
or off and on.
Yo, Nick is wild. Like there was at one point this person like didn't remember something, and Nick was like, "Yeah, we dated off and on," and then they were like, "We dated off and on," and Nick was like, "Well, on and off." Like, sorry, you literally said the same thing over again.
We were just not like super public about it, and then they were like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Whatever." But she told the other person that was there that I was looking for closure, to paraphrase.
Yeah.
And when Justin relayed that message to me, I said, "No, I was not. I'm happy. Yeah. I was not looking for closure. I haven't even thought about this person. Like, it was fun catching up to a degree, but I wasn't looking.
I don't think either party had thought about each other.
Right. Like a whole minister.
Yeah, come on, man. You anything but saved.
Wow.
I'll say this. I like shout out to you, right? Because you do edit the clips that we put out on social media, and you do a great job with that. But the one from last week where we just started like laughing, I don't know why that joint was so funny to me. When you tried to play me because I had the
look, I was about to put the picture up there, and I was like, nah, that would have been too much. Man. He probably would have saw me with that.
Yeah. Would have been one co-host down today.
Look, I know my limit. Now, me like 6-7 years ago, I wouldn't know my limits.
I told you like it's funny when you stand on the same side with Nick or something. But like I've said this numerous times before. When Nick's like whatever it is about Nick starting to laugh, it just makes you feel like damn, like make you feel so small.
I had a couple of people that thought that was that part of the podcast was funny.
Man.
They thought.
And also, while we here, Jessica Screen, who's been on here a couple times,
AKA J. Nicole.
yeah, when she said, I look like I was going to the military with my haircut. Yo, I was about to.
When did she say that?
She commented on one of the videos.
Oh, she did. I forgot.
Yeah. Hey, next time we're gonna take a trip to Atlanta.
Hey man, shout out J. Nicole, man, because she is like the worst instigator. Like she be having you hot like fish grease.
Man, I gotta go to anger management, bro. Like, people be getting me super tight. Like,
oh man, it's TikTok that gets you. Speaking of TikTok, let's transition to the topic. Did you see that?
Segue King.
The transition board. No. Okay, Segue King. Segue King.
For sure not done. All right.
Okay,
I got you.
All right, what's the topic?
All right, so I guess we'll give a shout out to TikTok for this, but just like the narrative, I think this is a bigger narrative.
Double
it's
T.
Just on social media. Yeah, TT. I saw a lot of people talking about the conversations around women saying that they don't like dating a guy who is not the lead, quote unquote, leader in their friend group.
Okay.
And it was like people were making videos about, when you get around his friends and he runs an errand or does a favor for the leader and he's not the leader of the group, and girls are saying they don't want to be with somebody who's not the leader of their friend group. And I have my thoughts about that, but I wanted to get your insight on that because to me, it's just something I had never thought of.
I'm kind of baffled thinking about it because I'm like, wow, leader. Like, here's the thing. I think we all think we're the main character. We are the main character in our own life. Like, we are the main character. So to think that somebody, now there are people in friend groups that, I'll point this out, that stand out, right? That may be the more vocal one, that may be the more take initiative type of person. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would call them a leader though, because I just feel like I feel like that's a very like immature way of looking at it, right? It's like high school, I never seen
Mean Girls.
Mean Girl.
Yeah, that was the same thought that I had. And I never seen the movie, but
yeah,
like when you think about something like that, it's like who does it like. To your point, it's just very childish, right? I'm trying to think of a better way to put it, but like that is the best way to put it. It's very childish because I think with it, I'll speak for our friend group. I think that there are, depending on what is happening, depends on who kind of like takes the initiative, right?
Right.
Like if it's like we love to go on trips, right?
Right.
If it's us trying to plan a trip, then like it's. Maybe I'll say, all right, like here's some Airbnbs or something.
Yeah.
I'll reserve it. Let me know what you think. Whatever.
Right.
If we're all together and it's like, hey, we need to make a move to go get like food or we need to get out the door for something, I feel like you do a good job being like, hey guys, let's rock. Man. Right? If it's finding a party or like finding women or something,
it's Robert Walker.
Robert Walker is there.
He's always has. Look, this dude came to visit us and had moves. Like we didn't
have to take care of him. Like we were sitting here at the house waiting on him to get back.
Right. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, y'all not coming out?" And I'm like,
"Yeah." It's a wild boy. Shout out Rob. Yeah. If it's anything like that, like they're depending on the situation, like we will take like whoever needs to kind of be the point person for that will do that. But I don't necessarily think that there's like a. If you ask me, if you say, hey, we're going to go eat. Can you pick up XYZ or pick up so-and-so on the way there?
Yeah.
That's not me being like an errand boy for you. It's, hey, we friends. I'm going to look at, I got you.
I guess what they were trying to, and I don't know them, and I'm just kind of guessing, but like they were trying to get to the point of like they want an alpha male.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to get to, but like, see, and that gets into a deeper dark.
And I think the concept of alpha male is, I hate to use the buzzword toxic, but I'd say problematic, right? Mm-hmm. Because like alpha male is like, I'm not gonna lie, as somebody, when you're leading a situation, right, and you're expected to lead, that's one thing, but like taking charge every time can be taxing, and it's okay to be like, I'm going to delegate. I think that's more of a leader when you delegate things. When you're like, hey, I'm not
trust the team around you to do what you need them to do.
Yeah, and so I get what I I kind of get what they were trying to say, but I just feel like it's not like what normal adults do. Now, I don't know. I mean, I wish we had like a woman here to like kind of break down like a female friend group dynamic. But like, I think even with that, I think every friend has a role within the group. Like, I mean, and not role as in like established, but like people play certain parts and people are who they are. Their personality sort of kind of like puts them in certain positions and roles and, you know, whatever.
Have you, let me flip it on his head. Have you ever dated a girl that when you saw how she kind of interacted with her friend group, it changed how you kind of looked at her?
Have I dated? You know what? Let's use those two that we met over the weekend. The girl a woman that I mentioned, that I dated.
Look at you, growth. Shout out to you, man.
I said some. I was dropping gems.
You was dropping bars the other night, and like I feel like they weren't wanting to respect.
They did not. It's funny when you see people after so many years later, they don't want you to grow. Yeah. But like, it is what it is. She was very disrespectful to her friends, and that was very they were disrespectful to each other. Like, yeah, the way she talked to them. Yeah, and I know she's a nice person, but like I think the way she talked.
That was the thing for me. Like when you said that the other day, I was like, anytime I had an interaction with this person, they were the nicest person in the world. You know, like
right. But like when she talked to, for some reason, the people that she was closest to, she talked to them kind of crazy, and I was like, that is not attractive. Because if somebody's going to talk to the people they're close to, like her line sisters at the time, extremely close to them, like if she's going to talk to them that type of way,
then there's all bets are off when you talk to me.
That's like when Eminem was dissing his mama. If I'm a rapper, like I don't want any smoke with Eminem because he's gonna like go.
He's gonna do that to his moms. And
what do you think?
I'm nobody.
Right. So. I would say that situation. I actually had somebody, a friend of mine. You remember my going away party? Yeah. It was going away from High Point, and I was moving to Atlanta, and so I was quiet that night. I was very low key, and a friend that we went to college with, but she never hung around that friend group I had there. Or our friend group that I had there, she was like, "Wow, you're like really quiet around your friends." She was like, "You just are very just real quiet." I'm like, I kind of pick and choose my spots. I mean, you know, I kind of like to be a fly on the wall in a lot of situations.
I had a girl tell me that she didn't like the way that she didn't like who I was when I was around my friends.
Oh, you talking about?
Yeah. And again, like I've been very vocal about how. And I've been saying this a lot lately, like to people. It's like I truly value my friendships and like the people within my circle. I value them so much, and I think that kind of like did me and her in. On top of like other things, but that particularly.
But the wild part about it is like she hung out with us and had a great time. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like, she had a great time. Like she said she just didn't like how I acted when I was with my friends. But I'm like, these are people that I've known the longest. These are people I'm closest to. These are people I trust the most. Like,
right?
Come on, yo. Like,
they have the keys to the safe.
Come on,
they have
man.
the passwords to the.
Come on, man.
to the safe. I had an ex-girlfriend tell me she didn't like how I sounded or how I was on the podcast. Versus it was here's the thing, and the wild part about it is I was over here trying to sell.
Y'all hear my man voice got loud. Hey, he felt that one. Go ahead, brother.
I felt the type of way. She said she used to say she was like podcast Nick and Nick that I'm around are two different Nicks, and I was like, what podcast are you listening to? Like, are you're not listening to the
same Nick I've known?
Like, this is not the such and such podcast. I'm not going to name a podcast out there, but like, this is not a problematic podcast. Like, I'll ask you this. Do I sound crazy? I'm not trying to peer pressure you into this. I just realized I was like, that sounds like I'm peer pressuring him until I answer. Let me say that again. Do I sound different? Or do I act different?
Nah. There's more change in your voice when you're doing your news voice than it is like on a podcast. You still sound like you in everything that you say. I think if anything, I step out on the limb and say wilder things on here than you do.
Hey, you never get in trouble. I will point that out. Justin has never gotten in trouble on this podcast.
I won't say I never got in trouble.
Never gotten in trouble. What's the last time you got in trouble on this podcast?
Not a never get in trouble, but it was but there's always like a I don't like this, but I understand that it's you and Nick's podcast. Like you have the platform to say what you want to say. And then it turns into like
this is a slap on the wrist.
It turns into almost like if you care about me, like, do you continue to say these things?
Yes.
Which then I meet that with like, I'm not gonna be like censored. You know what I mean? So like, it's
back and forth. Have you gotten to any trouble in the podcast recently? And look, we've been in trouble outside of like people we've dated. Like
Yeah, friendships ruined. You know?
Right?
Nah, I ain't been in no trouble. Like I'm cooling. And if y'all do got no, like
watch this.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hey, somebody might listen. Hey, speaking of, you might get a phone call after this podcast.
Might.
Why does Nick always do this?
I don't know.
I'm always, you know what? It's so funny because because we have different friends and more. Well, not about the same, but like some of your friends, like they hit you because I know them, and they be like, why does Nick do this? Like, why does he put me? I'm not talking about you at all. I am not talking about. I promise, I am not. Like,
so there's a conversation to be had there, right? Because like numerous people have done that with me, and I'm like, but y'all know Nick, right? Like again, like the way you laughing right now just like makes a lot of people mad. But I'm like, but y'all know Nick, like that's Nick, right? Great guy,
the laughing,
but
kid.
He just like laugh at you and like hit you with little one-liners, right? But at the same time, on the flip side, like I've been that person too, to where people, significant others, like friends of ours, significant others, be like, I don't want you hanging out with Justin, and Justin's like a bad influence, and I really just be chilling. I don't be doing
nothing. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I'm like, man, y'all clearly like a lot of it is jokes, right? Yeah. And it's not even like poorly taste jokes. We don't name people. That's the crazy part. You would never know if you were like a random person listening to the podcast. Unless we name the person, you would never know. Yeah, people that we went to school with, who like because when we took that trip down memory lane, would never know who we were just talking about. Yeah. They would never know. I feel like there was a part 2 to that topic. Maybe there wasn't.
It was friend groups, women not liking, not being with the leader.
Women lie, men lie. Numbers don't.
No, I think that was the main thing.
That was it.
I don't necessarily think that. My main thing was just like trying to, and I wish we did have a lady on here to like discuss the female perspective, but well, I be trying to pick my words carefully, right? Like,
right.
I'm like whatever.
Yeah. Because you like what we say. It is changing the language and changing how we say, and it's not being politically correct. It's just being respectful.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we try to be as respectful as possible in this podcast.
I want to make sure to like address you with respect before I get my misogynistic points off. So.
Hey, that was Justin Leviticus Parks.
That's a sick man.
Hey, that's a chapter in the Bible.
But yeah, that was the main thing, is just like trying to understand it. Like I just don't understand the whole, like you said, I think the underlying thing is like you want to be with an alpha male. What is an alpha male, right? Like a decision maker, like I think that so much of what we say nowadays, especially when it comes to like relationships or like gender wars or whatever you want to call it,
gender wars,
it gets like things start to take on new definitions, And I think alpha male is one of those things, right? Like Russell Wilson is an alpha male.
Doesn't mean that he is right.
Yeah.
Or he does the right things basketball wise. You get what I'm saying?
Oh no, Wilson. Not Westbrook.
I guess I was thinking Russell Westbrook, yes. But he is Russell Westbrook.
Like that. But that's the thing. Like Russell Wilson, like the football player, like to be a quarterback, you kind of gotta be an alpha male to lead men, right? But like if we go ask 10 people on the street, who's more of an alpha male?
Yeah,
Russell Wilson or Future. 8 of those 10 are going to say Future. Future isn't necessarily an alpha male. Future's just like a toxic dude, right? Like that'd be the thing.
And that's the thing. It's a different. Was the modern version of or the matured version of an alpha male should be. I'm not gonna lie. What we see of Russell Wilson, right? Yeah. A guy
take
who
care of family,
take care of his
loves his wife,
loves his wife, and he picks his spot. Like he knows, like, look, on the football field, I'm in charge. At home, I am equally yoked with this person, right? Yeah. But what we see as an alpha male is Future, right? Is somebody that is, and this is no diss to Future, but this is brand, like just being toxic, being somebody who doesn't care, somebody who's just gonna do whatever he wants to do. And that's not the most mature. It's like it's like, look, you still got work to do in yourself if you have that mindset as an alpha male. And I wouldn't want to follow that person. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like his music, but like, I'm not out here like following Future's every step. And I hate to use Future as a fall guy for this point, but I mean, it is what it is. If for the sake of the example, and again, no diss to Future, but
free man.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I think when it comes to friend groups, I look at friend groups like relationships. It is. This is not a band situation. This is not a New Edition, B2K, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC type situation, right? Yeah. There's no Justin Timberlake in this group. Like we all play our parts. We all have our spots, and like for us to grow, we all have to grow. Not just one person stands out, So that's how I look at it. You want to get into the sports bag?
Let's do it.
I guess first off, I mean it's not officially confirmed, but like Serena Williams, golf legend, just overall great person. Just like we don't know her personally, obviously, but like seems like a great person. It hints at retirement. Like she had posted on social media that she is, calling it a career, and I couldn't be happy for her. I think she won her last tournament, right? But she's so iconic, man. I think about like from wearing the beads to wearing braids to the outfits on the court, to the body type, right? We never saw a tennis player with that physique and making I think women of color, black women, comfortable to be in the skin they're in. Yeah. The sneaker with Virgil that she did, Virgil Abloh. She just made things cool. She was just a cool person. Like her crip walking on the clay court. The tennis court. Her winning. She didn't know that she was pregnant, but her winning Wimbledon as she was pregnant, and then her just making motherhood look just like flawless. I mean, that's what comes to mind when I think of Serena.
Yeah, I think that she definitely is, when we talk about like pound for pound the greatest at their craft,
right? And
maybe like the most impactful for their sport. I think Serena Williams wins that by like a landslide, right? Like you had like Althea Gibson, like you had black tennis players beforehand, but none of them did it like the Williams sisters, and Serena in particular, in a way that she just like kind of changed the landscape of female tennis, right? Like I'm always hesitant to equate certain things like when the struggle that Jackie Robinson went through, right, yeah. Where like when certain things get equated to like the civil rights struggle, I'm always hesitant to like draw that comparison, because I think that civil rights struggle was something that was so so unique that like I don't want to like diminish it at all or downplay it at all. But I think in terms of like black athletes and what they had to endure in getting to the point and being as great as they were at their sport, like outside of Jackie Robinson, Serena Williams might be like her and Venus might be next up, right? Like,
they were. Yeah, they dealt with a lot.
Yeah, like.
And that's crazy because it's so many. You're talking about decades apart.
Decades apart. Because I remember Serena always telling a story about what's the tennis player, Jennifer Capriani?
Yeah.
Jennifer Capriani, them standing right next to each other in the tunnel and her refusing to speak to Serena. Right? Like the things like that like we could say it's this or that, but like we know what it comes down to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to finish.
No, you're good. We know exactly what it is when she's refusing to speak to her. Tiger Woods went through the same thing, right? But I think that like the one thing about, and this is just like my personal assessment of the situation, is the fact that like Tiger Woods tried to distance himself from black people. Until he needed black people, right? And I love Tiger Woods, right?
Right.
And I think that Tiger has gotten to a point to where he's accepted what he means.
He's at peace. I think he's at peace.
Yeah, I think he's at peace for who he is. He's not trying to fight being black anymore. There was no doubt ever when it came to the Williams sisters or Richard Williams or whoever they were.
Lived in Compton.
Yeah, living in Compton. Like you said, crip walking on the court, like the bees, everything that they do was black excellence.
And right? I think the difference between her and this is not like a little tiger for Serena, but like I think Tiger is iconic. I think he did a lot. I think Tiger did have sort of an identity crisis a little bit, and like people laugh at the Chappelle show when they make fun of him, but I think there was some truth to that, right? Yeah. But just back on Serena, I mean, she's just. I think she's just herself. I wonder. Yeah. And when you think about when you say like Serena, you don't say female tennis player. You just say tennis.
Serena Williams. Yeah.
Tennis. Like you're saying like a whole sport. That is like you're talking. And I don't think any other athlete you think about like, especially female black woman.
Yeah.
You know, she just dominated.
When you think about all of those things that you said, right? Like again, not to compare this to Tiger, but like using that example. I think that there is, when you break into a white sport, right? There's two routes that you can go about it. You can be authentically yourself, and they just got to take it as is, or you can be. And this is not. I don't think either one is necessarily right or wrong. But I think Earl Woods built Tiger in a way that made him acceptable to white America. Right. And then that like. That coupled with his greatness in golf kind of catapulted where he is. Serena and with her Venus in there too. Serena was so great at tennis that whether you wanted to like her or not, you had to respect what she did. And I think that like something that's underrated, and this is not me getting my hate off, but something that's underrated is being that great at a sport, being authentically yourself, but also being like socially like not awkward, right? Tiger Woods, because golf was all he knew from the moment he was a child, and he was a prodigy and all these things. Tiger Woods, from watching that documentary, Tiger Woods was like socially awkward. Yeah. Right? Like he just didn't really know how to interact with people. You know what I mean?
And, you know, I think he did the best he could. Yeah, I really think. I mean.
And I think that like now he's figured it out, right? Like I think now he gets it. But like it's been a long, rough and rugged road to get there. Right? Like he had to fall from grace just to like
for people to like him.
For people to like identify with him and like him. But for Serena Williams, we've never heard her tied up in any type of like scandal. She's been herself. Like she has a beautiful family. All of these things on top of like dominating the sport of tennis, and like there's nothing you could say bad about her. And she like it just seems to be super relatable and likable and things like that. LeBron James is another one that like for as great as LeBron is, it doesn't seem like LeBron is as socially like it seems like LeBron tries a lot of times. That's always the knock on LeBron. Yeah, is that LeBron is
And
I don't want to say socially awkward, but you know what I mean.
I think
just being put on that pedestal. I
think LeBron tries a little too hard.
Yeah.
But I think with Serena that makes it different from any other athlete is that she doesn't have to try. Like, it's just her.
Yeah.
And that's what we appreciate with Serena. And here's the thing about Serena, man. It's just like she's not one of those people that, like, tennis defines her life, which I think was in the Vogue article that came out. It's like she wants to be a mom, but she's going to do that in a cool way. She's going to break barriers in different ways. And I can't wait to see what retirement looks like for Serena. I'm happy for her. And yeah, I mean, shout out to Serena, man. I mean, that's our childhood, man. That's like our childhood to now. Like Serena, she's not that much older than us. Like, like she's like old enough to be a sibling. Like that's Serena. With that being said, I was gonna bring up the net situation, but we'll see how that unfolds. We'll save that. You had the Friday joint.
I think I did have the Friday joint this week. It was, what did I pick? Lonely. They and Bino. Is it Rideaux? Rideaux?
Bino, Rideaux.
Yeah, so
Bino Rideaux. Right, yeah, No, I like him. He's dope. With that being said, that's the Friday joint. You can check it out on This Is Thing Podcast 2. Is that the Instagram page? I always say it differently. Okay, and you can follow the page as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And with that being said, see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.